player like these guys, but being able to quickly swoop in, grab a kill, especially on some of these weaker HP brawlers, really helps out. He gets a few taps, drops the super, has a walking cane. Any additional damage or security that you can get for a kill in this mode, that means everything.
Okay, the curve from P.E.K.K.A. Not for the kill confirmed, just to establish pressure onto RHZ. Didn't really make contact there. Bit of a hook there from Christian. He is getting so much damage from Jubileo. Thankfully stays alive. Another one would have been enough to send him packing. Also odd positioning, by the way. With Manny taken down, P.E.K.K.A. tried to push forward. Nearly got shut down by Brian. And here's the wall break. It's going to make it a difficult time for Mandy on the right side. She's going to be a lot more vulnerable. P.E.K.K.A.'s going to have much more position to work with. Jubileo now trades. Brian is just one tap. P.E.K.K.A. needs that gadget. Tries to sneak around the corner. Doesn't have the gadget online. Brian, one shot. P.E.K.K.A. gets him taken down with a bomb from the super.
Brian just one little tile off, and I think he could have stayed alive. Really good clutch there from P.E.K.K.A. though, one of the more mechanically gifted players in our region. It looks like they've rethought their strategy here. In the second game, they're opening their own walls. We saw Piper do it, and then Motep immediately drop a gadget opening this round up to try and give P.E.K.K.A. a little more space on the right. That's more gadget for them to dodge, and they can still get the value out of Squeak on the enemy side.
Once more. Slow control from both teams. RHZ, no contact. That gadget. Casa Brawl seem to have control for now. Much of this is going to have to do with supers, though. Once Christian gets the next super, he might just go sicko mode like he did in the last round. Still needs some value off that super, at least to just redeem himself. There's the pressure from P.E.K.K.A., and he has that hypercharge to charge in as well. The poison's going to be keeping SKC from backing up too much in just a second here, but the damage is flying in. Brian, the last one standing. P.E.K.K.A. puts an exclamation point on it with a hypercharge and a super in to equalize the set.
Seems the adjustments worked for Casa Brawl. I think wall break on your side can be really important. Extra room to dodge. And like I said, Squeak is somebody that likes to have these walls. He wants it to be close quarters for either end so they have a tougher time dodging his shot. So the fact that they're able to keep the enemy's side closed, because you have to land the walking cane. Otherwise, Brian, RHZ have no real way of disrupting that. And now Motep's just going to break this open on their top right-hand side, leave it a little more open. It's room for P.E.K.K.A. and Motep to walk with and dodge.
Bit of damage in from Motep. Same dynamic as last time. Right side broken open. And the world is Casa Brawl's oyster. We have yet to see whether Christian is able to get a super and then get aggro as a result. Looks like Jubileo is being more conservative with his shots. In case Christian is just one shot away from a super and decides to TP him, he's going to need some firepower to retaliate. Meanwhile, on the right side, P.E.K.K.A. still holding on to this gadget, which might have a use against RHZ. That's the EU curve right there. Bit of preemptive damage before any serious push is made. We're still in the stage of players looking for their utility.
Christian encroaching, not paying off. Down to 425 HP. He's going to have to move back. They get the tag. Low HP once again. Super goes in, and Christian is a goner. 3v2 situation now, and SKC feeling the brunt force of all the P.E.K.K.A. taps. A flank coming in from Jubileo. A super goes out for RHC. He finally connects one. Too little, too late. Still advantage for Casa Brawl, and now they will have a one-round lead.
I would be using that pin if I finally hit a super as well, okay? The jinx has been broken. The curse is over. It's time to win some games. He's going to be 2 shots away, though. Almost was one onto P.E.K.K.A. Also, honestly surprised that didn't hit P.E.K.K.A. But he needs a couple shots. There's one. Another one secures him the super. Gets him closer to a hypercharge as well. For now, SK Kalalis are on the back foot. Another curve in from P.E.K.K.A. There's the super from RHC. The impact is what we needed to see. It's a 3v2 advantage belongs to SK Kalalis.
He's heating up. That's 2 in a row, and it's a trade out as well. SKC take full advantage, and I hate to say it, but in a 2v1, there are a lot of brawlers that might be able to make it happen. Squeak is not at the top of my list right now. We'll see if Jubileo can make magic happen, but instead, he's going to go to the giant fog on the top side, try not to feed any supers up, and just give up on this one. It's not giving up on the set, but it's just trying not to give too much utility there. And now RHZ has the puckered face once again, and he's got a hypercharge cooked and ready to go.
I'm so excited for RHZ. This is his moment of redemption. After a couple of Mandy sets in a row where he's really struggled, here it comes! There's one! And that's enough to put this team in the lead. A counter hypercharge in from Jubileo. That's 2 bounces, 1 impact onto Christian. No slow, no nothing. He's still alive, and he's safe and sound here on the back right. A hypercharge Supercharge available for Motep as well for additional speed and damage. One shot is all it's going to take down Brian. He gets two, especially with the gadget. And now everyone closing in on Jubileu. That's 3 contacts in a row for RHZ. Motep, the last one standing, looking for the 1v2 of a lifetime.
He's going to have some insane mechanics here. He's already down to half HP. A teleport through, the Walking Cane secures, and SKC prevail. Much bigger step up from RHC, dabbing him up and knowing that he did great work with that Mandy Super.
I think this means that we can finally retire the discussion of RHZ on the Mandy Supers, okay? The whips have now been balanced out by the hits, and so there's peace been brought back to this brawler for RHZ.
Christian been brought back into the roster. He didn't play with SK Kalalas in the last February month. Takedown in the first round, and with that SK Kalalas took that one. What adjustments did Cause Brawl make in round 2 to turn the set around, Kenny? And why didn't they work in round 3 anymore?
Round 2, they got the wall break off instantly, and honestly, some pretty darn good mechanics out of Pekka. I mean, you see him highlighted in purple there. A real star to watch. And I think especially here, you can kind of see after this game 1, they've got this top right-hand side broken up, and I like that Brock is even continuing to chip away with that. Unfortunately, I think SKC did a really good job in the early game, and to be quite honest, it just Mandy was tapping. If those supers are connecting, it's freebies, right? RHZ is on the opposite side of the map, so if he's tackling the enemy side, he's going to do a bajillion damage from infinite range, and it was just enough for them to get through. You see it here. A nice and heated up, and that was the little momentum swing, maybe the confidence booster where it all started, because they did lose that. He was firing on all cylinders.
This semi-final number 2 promises to be another close one. It's a lot of back and forth in both Bridge so far and also Bell's Rock. It's been one team wins, the other team wins, one team wins again. It's just a back and forth ready.
It's like tennis pretty much played between the sets here. So does that mean we're going to be going to a set 5? Well, it's no doubt decided here on Hot Zone. It's a time for dueling Beetles.
The casters are all hoping it's going to be a set 5, Kenny, it seems.
I mean, selfishly, yeah. I mean, I don't want it for their stress levels, but, you know, for the people, could you toss us another one? It's already been an entertaining region. What's one more? What's one more?
Keep them coming. We already had a lot of 3-2s in the last February monthly finals. We want to get some more this month as well. We only had 2 so far, so keep it coming. I want to see them. Heading into the draft 2 now. You see RHZ is ready for the draft. So are we. Dueling Beetles, another map where throwers could come in. We surprisingly didn't see a Juju in Bell's Rock.
Very interesting. Now, in terms of throwers that are viable on Hot Zone, I'm thinking a mode where you need to stay in one place for a really long time. Can we get a brawler that like throws circles that heal you when you stand on them? I feel like he's going to be banned though, okay? If Barry is banned, then that whittles down the possibilities here quite a lot. Brings a bit of normalcy back to things, but no, he's actually not banned. So that's got to be a high priority for the team with the first pick, possibly, because we saw Barry played in situations where an assassin is used against him, and it was actually totally ineffective.
Barry Frank often paired together as well, so that's a combo that I could be looking out for, especially after seeing this banned stage. It's going to be B. I honestly feel like B is a very safe first option. I feel like we've said that so many times this weekend, but I just love the place that B's at in the current meta. The win rate is pretty 50-50 given last weekend, but I just, again, think you're not locking yourself into too many strategies. Really frustrating brawler to deal with all the cycling the gadgets, plus the slowdown, does well into tanks. It's just a good brawler that they can see what Casa Brawl do and then respond. You don't have to necessarily lock yourself in here early.
I'm a big B Griff enjoyer as well. It might be a bit risky to go for that as not a last pick. There's a Poco. I mean, that's why the B is here. Let's really be honest with ourselves. You have Rattled Hive and you can spam it, so that just makes her better. But the real reason she is here is because Poco is so good, and because, like, Poco is matter and B is antimatter. They just, like, completely nullify each other. The B is so good into the Poco. But what do you pair with the Poco? Okay, because you're not scared of Lu anymore. You can negate any effects of Lu just by using your gadget. That's what the stew is here for. You're gonna make Lu ultra unviable pretty much. Maybe secure that for yourself as a final selection.
That's That's a fierce 2-3 turn. Stu, one of the most consistently picked brawlers, one of the most consistent winning options, and now you get to Poco spam. And like you said, you've removed Lu from the equation. If you go Lu, I think it's a crazy call just given the gadget option coming out of Poco. You called it matter and antimatter. On the other end, Lu is simply useless, rendered just to nothing. That ice rink can be nullified. So they're going to go to Barry. This is something that we highlighted at the beginning. They're still going to get their utility brawler of choice. And I just think Barry is such a strong shout in this map. And right now, I think outside of maybe if they wanted to go Stu wall break instead of speed zone, that's really the only way they have of breaking open these walls. And guess what? You break open the walls, B's going to thrive even better.
Pretty much. It's dangerous over here. SK Kalalas also have other ways of breaking walls. They want to pick the Frank. Oh, okay. Ash is going to be next up here because Ash is pretty good into enemy tanks. So if your strat into this was going to be, okay, well, you know, we have a healer of our own, then sure, good luck getting through that Ash because he pumps out so much damage and outranges many tanks in this game. Not to mention his hypercharge, which is huge for dealing with something like Stu. If that is isolated on Stu, then he's not going to be able to punch through all those hypercharge rats. Ems, very interesting. I wonder if they anticipated the Ems at all as a way of dealing with the Poco since she's famously like pretty good into him. But into the Ash, I think that could be viable unless he has a hypercharge and he's running straight at your face.
I'm like computing in my brain. When was the last time we saw an Ems ready? Definitely not.
21.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while. I mean, you know, jokes aside, it's been a while, man. That's an interesting choice. I feel like at a professional level, we don't see Ims a lot because she's not as good of a tank counter as she used to be. You can get run over. If Ash is in your face, Ims is still dying. Just because you get unlimited gadgets and unlimited pushbacks doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be easy walking ground. Brian with an early victory on this right-hand lane, and now RHZ can climb his way up the map, take on Motep, and Motep falls as well. SKC exploding off the start.
The damage is coming out from Casa Brawl, but it's not really earning them much. Brian's getting some serious damage on the P.E.K.K.A. with that Rattled Hive, and here comes the Poco Hypercharge. If it's popping off that soon off the beginning of the game, then expect a lot over the course of this one, ladies and gentlemen. But so far, Jubileu was taking quite a bit of damage from that berry, managed to navigate out of the ice cream and into the zone, where they're going to try and equalize this so far. SK Kalalas have gotten nearly to 40%, but they're ready for another assault. RHZ, once he gets pretty healthy, and Christian, once he gets into position, can make use of the very hypercharge.
Usually when Ims grabs that indestructible wall and just hovers over it with the super, you can't climb up the map, but Barry's a thrower, and he also has a dash forward, and it also heals. I think it's just going to make it so tough for P.E.K.K.A. to capitalize, so Jubileo is going to have to pop off, dashing his way up to the right-hand side, gets the frag. P.E.K.K.A. pushing his enemy back, and now Motep can cycle through all those rats. The one thing that I will say, Poco, Ims, they have that splash and spread out effect that can take down the rats, and it's so far working. Despite the question marks I had about this Casa Brawl comp, it has really come back into fruition here in the second half.
Casa Brawl is looking good at the moment. RHZ tries to push forward, but he's got to fight through the gauntlet of both P.E.K.K.A. and Motep's hypercharges, but he's still alive. Barry is putting in the work, and he's got a hypercharge of his own now, stopped in his tracks, mid-motion by Motep. But the positioning is here for SKC. They cannot weather another push from Casa Brawl. If Casa Brawl gets control once again, then it's GG. And if SKC manage to bring this all the way to the end, then they've got a double match point on their hands.
Speed zone down, Jubileo now left-handed, and P.E.K.K.A. trying to work his way up. Hypercharge once again for Motep. Barry dives straight into the eye of the storm, and it's just a lone Motep. Team wipe goes down, and the blue side are now one game away from a brand new grand finals that we have yet to see in almost 2 years.
A serious comeback within that last game, because 88%, that was the mark that we saw Casa Brawl at before they lost control and could not get it back again. And man, they had it locked down for a good portion there, but I think they might have overcommitted. They had a couple of hypercharges and they used them both at once. And guess what the impact was? Well, RHZ didn't even die. In fact, it wasn't even until after their hypercharges expired that Christian used his to get into mid and promptly died. But the control still belonged to SK Kalalas. Now for this new game match point for SKC, we'll see a similar dynamic right off the beginning. Jubileu on the right side, shut down by Christian. P.E.K.K.A. also going to get cycled back to the respawn, and SKC in the lead.
Oh boy. Do they have the lead? And now they have control as well. Motep is not a top frag. Doesn't have a super available, so Jubileo is going to have to branch out the old-fashioned way. Just get some tags, take some damage, and hope it works out. Rattled Hive going down. Heals coming in from Christian, and P.E.K.K.A being forced away. Rats flying. I mean, SKC have the world going for them.
Jubileo now in with a hypercharge, trying to make an impact. Could get on top of Brian. Fire, but he's a one-man army fighting against 3 brawlers on SKC. They're in a great position. They have the slow, they have 2 hypercharges. Gonna pop them both at the same time. Could be an overcommitment. They still got 20% to go to the grand finals.
And just 15% away, SKC could make magic happen. P.E.K.K.A climbing his way up, trying to push Christian and Brian off the map, but to no avail. The reign of terror is over in South America. After 1 year wait, we will have a new Grand Finals champion in our month number 2.
Not even that. Both of the top 2 teams in this region, the teams that represented South America as number 1 and number 2 seed at last year's World Finals, will have to sit this one out. Let the new kids on the block get it done. They are not new faces here in South America, don't get me wrong. It's just been a while since we've seen them in a grand final.
We have heard their names everywhere. Last year already, they had a great run. Not quite made it into the top of the top. Only belong into the grand finals today. Loud and Brawl played in the grand finals in February. Now they were both in the semifinals, but they had to make way for 2 new teams. That's a story for the guys, honestly. This game, honestly, kind of looked like one of my ranked games. In the first Pro Pass season, you get 3 maxed out brawlers. Ems is one of them. So Ems was picked everywhere. It didn't really work, though, sadly, for Brawl. They have to say goodbye already in a 3-1 series.
Kenny asked a rhetorical question of when was the last time we saw Ems, and my initial thought was, well, I mean, for my rank up game to legendary one, but aside from that, I don't know, I guess we gotta dig through the annals of Brawl Stars history. That was an interesting pick, and it actually worked like a little bit in game number 1, but it didn't bring them all the way to the finish line, got them like 12% away.
Looking at the bracket here, we see once again Loud and Brawl, the 2 teams that have played in the February monthly finals, did make it almost all the way, Kenny.
Almost. But now this region's blown wide open. No Brawl, no Loud. Our top 2 teams from the previous month not only got bounced in the monthly qualifiers to the lower bracket, but it held true here. BC Gaming with a 3-2 victory. SKC ending it early in set 4. Unbelievable stuff coming out of this region. This is the tight, close-knit matches that we were looking forward to this month.
The people at home, the people watching, were able to vote for the MVP once again. And I talked so much about this guy on Bell's Rock, on his gray. Christian looked so strong today already.
I can't get enough of the dude. Yeah, Gray in particular stood out to me. I mean, goodness, he popped in with a hypercharge, got a couple of kills. He was hitting hooks left, right, and center. This guy, MVP through and through. Cannot wait to see what the guy accomplishes with the squad. We missed him last month. It's a good thing he is back. We saw in the results how much of a difference he makes, and it's a good thing we got to see finally on the mainstream, on the big screen, just what he does for this team.
Everyone watching from home, head over to events.brawlstars.com right now to also predict for the grand finals. Maybe you get some better predictions in than me today. Kenny and Reddy, I think you're already doing better than me today. It hurts, honestly.
It's a rough one, for sure.
Still not good.
Well, I'm going to try and calm down, not starting to cry because I'm losing my predictions to those 2 guys. You predict on event.brawlstars.com, and we see you after the break. matches out of the way. We're almost done with the South American March Monthly Finals, but not quite yet. We also get Uber back here. We had to sadly say goodbye to Reddy. But Uber, how did you like the match?
I loved it. I mean, I do think there's so much to be said for being able to secure those like Berry and Ash comps. They're unbelievable. I think it's justifiable that the Poco M's comp ends up losing. It's just some weird drafts from veteran teams, honestly. For me, like I really would expect them to be better in that metric, but I'm super stoked for this final. You guys talked about it a bunch. It feels like a changing of the guard here in SA. We were talking about some potential upsets, but probably still expecting to see one of our heavyweight teams win this month. Now, of course, it's going to be a new team one way or another, BC Gaming or SK Kalala. So I'm over the moon. It's a great story. And now we've just got a great grand finale to get through.
Those heavyweight teams still have a chance, though, to go to the Brawl Cup. The Brawl LAN action kicks off early this season with the Brawl Cup in Dallas.
All regions from across the globe are sending their best champions to prove to us, once and for all,
Humble, 50%, Crazy Raccoon, and fallen short.
which region is the best in the world right now. They'll compete for LCQ and World Final slots for their home region, altering the competitive landscape for the rest of this year.